They were called soiled doves, pretty words for women whom society wanted to use, then forget. In the rough, lawless frontier towns of 19th century America, places like Deadwood, Dodge City, and Tombstone, they were the heartbeat in the shadows. The saloons glittered with laughter, whiskey, and gun smoke. But behind the piano music and poker games were women who lived and died unseen. Most of them came west, chasing a promise, a job, a husband, a chance to start over. Some were widows or abandoned wives. Others were girls too poor to eat, too desperate to turn back. The railroad towns offered little mercy. A woman alone was an easy target. And so, one by one, they entered the houses, the dance halls, brothels, and saloons that gave them shelter in exchange for their souls. The madams who ran these establishments often had once been soiled doves themselves, hard, clever, and unbreakable. They gave their girls food, clothes, and a roof, but also rules. No drunkenness, no theft, no freeloaders. Every cent earned went through the madam's hands, and most women never escaped the debt. A week's wages could vanish in a night's illness, a torn dress, or the fine for public indecency. In places like Dodge City's infamous red light district, women were both vital and reviled. Cowboys, miners, and travelers spent their pay in their company. But in daylight, those same men crossed the street to avoid them. Respectable wives turned their faces away. Preachers thundered against their sin, even as the town's economy quietly depended on it. The hypocrisy was brutal. When towns boomed, the women were tolerated, even celebrated for keeping men civilized. But when the gold ran out or the cattle drives ended, they were driven out, beaten, or left behind. The same lawmen who had once protected them now arrested them. The same judges who visited their rooms signed their warrants. Some women, like Julia Boulette of Virginia City, managed to earn respect. Julia was known for her generosity, nursing sick miners during an epidemic when others fled. When she was murdered in 1867, the entire town mourned, a rare moment of compassion in a world that rarely gave it. Others weren't so lucky. Many died nameless, their graves marked with wooden crosses that weathered away before the next decade. Diseases spread easily in the cramped quarters of brothels: syphilis, tuberculosis, pneumonia. Doctors seldom treated them, calling their deaths natural consequences. Some tried to escape, marrying customers or running off to start anew, but society never forgot their past. Soiled Dove could change her name, her town, even her hair color, but not her reputation. Yet within those dark rooms and smoky halls, there was resilience. They formed sisterhoods, caring for one another when the world turned its back. When a girl was beaten, others hid her. When one died, they pooled coins to give her a burial. In a world of guns and greed, they built small sanctuaries of loyalty. For many frontier towns, these women were the first to bring color and culture. They imported fabrics, perfume, and fine furniture. They kept musicians in work, paid blacksmiths and laundresses, and even funded schools and churches. Ironically, the very towns that condemned them would not have survived without them. But history rarely remembered their faces. Official records called them fallen women, abandoned souls, or public nuisances. Their stories were erased from the proud legends of the Wild West, the cowboy, the sheriff, the outlaw. Yet behind every saloon, every boomtown, there was a woman with painted lips and tired eyes, keeping the lights burning long after the men had gone home. By the early 1900s, as moral reform swept America, the soiled doves disappeared from the frontier landscape. Red light districts were closed, madams imprisoned, and brothels burned. Some women moved east, reinventing themselves as laundresses or seamstresses. Others vanished into the cities, nameless, faceless, forgotten. But their legacy lingers. They were the unsung founders of towns that still stand today. They built the social and economic backbone of the West at a cost paid in loneliness, violence, and shame. And in the end, they were more than the labels men gave them. They were survivors. In a land that worshipped freedom, they had none. In a country that celebrated pioneers, they were never invited into the story. Yet without them, the American frontier might never have become more than dust and dreams. These were the soiled doves, women who danced, loved, and died under the flicker of lamplight, shaping a nation that pretended not to see them,